Hi, this is Sheila. Welcome back to the Crochet Nurse channel. Today we're going to create this very beginner-friendly scrubber for the kitchen. It's a two-sided little guy here, and it's made in all one piece. If you like this kind of content, please feel free to subscribe with the button below, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be informed of when I put up new videos. We are going to use the Yarn Bee brand Scrubology Scrub It yarn in aqua color. This is a 100% nylon yarn. It's in a 5-weight size, 100% nylon, 5-weight, and it calls for a size K hook, or J hook, I'm sorry, J10 hook. However, what we're going to use is a K 6.5. Now, you do not have to use this yarn to do this beginner-friendly project. You can use cotton yarn. Because this is going to be in the kitchen, I would recommend a cotton yarn if you're not going to use this nylon, and you would just use 2 strands together. So, if you're ready to make some beginner-friendly scrubbies, then let's get going. The first thing that we want to do is make a slip knot. And then once you make the slip knot, stick in your hook and then chain 5. Now you may see that this yarn actually operates a little bit different than other yarns. It's weird because it's actually slippery and rough at the same time. So there is my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I want to do is make a circle. And to join the circle, you can do one of 2 ways. You can go into the end here, but the way I'm going to join it is I'm actually going to take the tail, put it over the end here of the hook, and then I'm going to pull it right through like this, and then tighten it down. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to tie it together. And this will give it more of a secure circle because, like I say, this stuff is pretty slippery. And once you've got that done, stick your hook back in and draw up a loop, and then chain 3. This first chain 3 is going to count as a double crochet, and what you want to do from here is you want to put in 9 more double crochets into the circle for a total of 10. So go through. There's 2. I say it's kind of slippery and tough at the same time. And there's 3. And like I say, when you get there's 1, 2, 3, make for a total all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I've made it all the way around. You should now have 10 stitches completed, and it should look something like this. All right, next thing we want to do is on this very first chain here, this is that chain 3 that we created, we're going to put a slip stitch right at the top. Stick your hook in, pull it back, and this will just join it together. At this point, if you wanted to, you can flip it over on the back side and you can tug on the little string and close it up. It's really not going to stay closed at the moment just because of the stretchiness of that yarn. All right, let's begin round 2. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit so you can see it. So we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then yarn over. And we're going to double crochet right back into that same hole. You can see it opening up there. All right. And then for this round, what we're going to do is double crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. So each stitch will get 2 double crochets. We are increasing to make our little scrubby bigger. And that is what you will do. 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way around. Okay, I've made it all the way around, and at this point you should have 20 stitches all the way around, so you want to make sure you count that and see that's what you have. At this point, mine also, do a quick measure on it as well, because we're only doing 20. Let's see what the size is for mine. It's about 3.5 inches. If you wanted yours bigger than that, you certainly could just add more stitches into the circle. So This is where typically for other videos that I've seen out there, like Creative Grandma, she does this as well. And then there's a few other folks, and where I see them, they'll stop here and bind this off and make another one and then do a duplicate. This is where we're going to do a little bit different. So what I want you to do at this point, we're going to join it again. Go to the top, 1, 2, third stitch, and we're going to slip stitch to join it. Okay. And we are not going to bind off. We are actually going to continue on, and we're going to now make the other side of this. This is half of your scrubby. You should, like I say, 20 stitches. What you want to do at this point is you're going to chain 2, and then in each stitch all the way around we are going to do a half double crochet. And a half double crochet is we would yarn over, and we're not going to go into this. We're going to the second one over here. Go in, not going into the hole this time, we're going over here. Go in, because that first one already counts. Pull it up, so we have 3 loops on our hook, and pull through. And this is what we're going to do all the way around. What this is going to do is create the edging that we're going to use between the scrubby. So you should put 20 half double crochets all the way around, and when you get done with that, then we're going to move on to the back side. And don't worry about it if it's trying to wrinkle down on you. That's what mine's trying to do too. This is very stretchy yarn, at least if you're using the Scrubology. It is. It'll all straighten out when we get everything done on the other side. Okay, so continue on. Okay, I've reached the end of that round, and you're going to find after you do your 20 that you're going to have one more there. So go ahead and do a half double crochet on that one as well, because we don't want any gaps in here. And then do the same process that we did before, which is going to be go 1, 2, 3, and up the chain, and then slip stitch in to join. So at this point, you need to make a decision as to which side do you want to be your front and what side do you want to be on the inside. So I'm going to go back and I'll show you what I mean by that. So this is the side, and on the inside in there I could see my strand of yarn. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I'm going to make a decision. Which side do you want to be your front and which side do you want to be your back, because we can flip it either way. And I think I'm looking at this, and I think I want that side to be my front. And so I'm going to push this back through. Yep. And you notice I removed my hook. I've already done that slip stitch. I've removed my hook. So now I want to grab a hold of this yarn in here and kind of weave it in a little bit, because this piece of yarn here, remember we already tied the knot at the beginning, so this was already all set. So all we need to do at this point is weave the yarn in and kind of make it lay down a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to grab it and weave it in there a little bit. Kind of flatten it out. Doesn't take much to get in there. And I've decided I want that to be my inside. So I can flip it up, and now we're ready to go. Okay? That's what you need to do, is, like I say, decide which one you want, inside or outside. I'm going to say that's my inside. All right, now we're ready to continue on. So we're just going to be doing the reverse of what we did a little bit ago on the other side. This is going to be our edging, and what we're going to do now is actually create the back side of this. And so if you remember, what we did on the other side is that we did double crochets. So what you're going to do now is you're going to chain up 3, right? And then you're going to do double crochets all the way around. You do not need to do any increases or decreases right now. So you're just going to go into each stitch and do a double crochet. And you're going to do that all the way around. And then when you get to the other end, after you've done all of your double crochets, you're going to follow the same process, and you're going to slip stitch in that final piece. Okay, I've made it all the way around, and you can see now that it's actually starting to be two sides. So you have this side here, and now that you've created your double crochet, it's kind of tight, it looks kind of tight, it feels kind of tight, but you actually can see that now your second side is coming in. That's why you needed to make a choice of what is going to be your good side and what's going to be your bad side, as far as, and I shouldn't say good or bad, it just says which side do you want to be showing and which side do you want to be on the inside. Because once we finish this little hole that's left, you're not going to be able to get back on the inside again to kind of weave in your ends. That's why we need to do that. I don't know about you. Oh my goodness, my yarn is like acting all kinds of crazy over here. All right, so now we need to fill in the rest of this and get this thing done. So as I shared, next step is you're going to slip stitch at the top again to join these. Boom. All right, now we're ready to start decreasing, because we need to fill this in. So as you remember from the other side, when we did the other side over here, we had we started out with 10 here, and then we did 20, and then we did our rim, and now we did our 20, and now we need to reduce this back down. Okay, and we're going to do a double crochet. So we're going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into this next stitch, pull it through, pull through 2, yarn over again, go into the next stitch, pull it through, pull through 2, yarn over again, and then pull through all 3. And I'll show you that again. Yarn over, go into the stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, go ahead and go pick up the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 3, all 3. What you're doing is you're joining the 2 stitches. So we are reducing by 10 stitches. So because we're going to do our 20 stitches, each 2 stitches is now going to equal 1, and so by the time we get down to the other, go all the way around, we will be back down to 10 stitches again. So in, pull through 2, yarn over, go ahead and grab that next stitch. Like I say, you can stretch that yarn, pull through 2, then pull through all 3. And then continue like that all the way around. And I will meet you at the end, because there's a little nuance, of course, right? Pull through 2, and then pull through the 3. A little nuance there at the end. You see how I'm tugging and opening to make sure I can get to it. And that's what you'll need to do, because we're getting closer to the end here, and it's going to be tight, but that's okay, because we need that hole to close. So don't worry about that. Pull through 2. Pull through all 3. All right, so let's keep going, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, I've made it to the end. If you've made it this far, congratulations, because this yarn is not being that cooperative. Makes great scrubbies, though, to be honest. I mean, I have a couple that I've already made, and I'm enjoying them, and I've worked with them. My husband actually is the one that does the dishes at our house, and he likes them, but the yarn's not that great. Okay, so let's finish off here. So we're going to same process. We just completed that round of half double crochet in here, and what we want to do is we're going to slip stitch at the top. So there's 1, 2, 3, slip stitch in there, pull it through. We're going to start closing up that hole, and you can see it is really starting to take shape as far as what it's going to look like. Now we just need to close up this little bit of hole, and to do that we are going to actually do some single crochets. So you have to kind of pull on it to kind of see where you need to go, but just do some single crochets to start closing it up. And we're going to go around And you're going to have to play this part by ear because it depends on how big of a hook you used, this type of thing. But as you can see, I'm able to go around, I'll probably be able to go around the whole way. And I'm doing the single crochet. Half double crochet is actually too big to do that here in this spot. But I'm kind of tugging it to try to get it in there because I want to make sure that I have it as close to closed as I can get it. And you can see, even with that amount, it looks like it's a big gaping hole on the camera, but it's actually not. It's actually pretty close to being closed. Now I've gotten closer. Grabbing it again. I'm skipping one. Grab it. Like I say, you got to play it by ear to get it closed. There's one. I'm going to skip that one, go into the next one, and that should almost do it. Let's take a look. Yep. See there? And that should pretty much do it. When you get it to the size, if you want to match the other side, where we had that little hole there, and once you're ready with that, I got mine where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clip my yarn. And I want to make a good length of yarn, and I'll show you why. I'm going to kind of give myself a good length because I want to be able to have enough yarn. I got something going on there. I want to be able to have enough yarn in there to actually kind of move around on both sides if I needed to. I'm going to chain. I'm going to go ahead and get it back in there. Chain 2 and then pull the yarn through and tug it down real tight. Okay? Because remember, this stuff is really stretchy. Now that knot's sitting up there on top. Here's how we're going to get rid of it. So you can see I'm already starting to poke it through. That's what I'm going to do with my yarn needle. At this point, it's just going to be weaving in the ends. And so what I've done with the other ones, once I put it on, weaving in the ends, one of the first things I'm doing, you have to be careful with this stuff. It doesn't like to go through here. You're going to want to kind of go around it. So the first thing that I did when I was doing on the other ones is I went in to the midsection of it to pull that knot free. So I'm going in and I'm going to come up because I want that knot to be underneath. I don't want it scratching anything. Okay? And then it's just a standard weaving in. What I also found that if I didn't like on one of them, I thought my hole on the front was a little bit too big. So what I did is I actually went all the way through, and you can do this because you have the freedom to do it. Go all the way through, and I actually closed on this side by just weaving back and forth. For this yarn, what you want to make sure that you do is at least weave in at least 3 times for sure, because this yarn, the way it is and it's so stretchy, you don't want it to be coming back out when you're out there doing the dishes, and because you're going to be using this hardcore. So you're going to find that's a little tricky to get through. As you can see, I'm having to tug it to get it through there. But it's worth your time to kind of tug it through. Okay. So once you get finished with your weaving your ends in, you are done. Stretch it out a little bit. We can do a quick measure on this. It should be about 4 inches at this point. This looks about right. Yep. Mine is right at 4 inches, and hopefully yours is looking good. And all right. If you have any questions or concerns, drop me a comment in the box below. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and jump back on another time when we have another video. Have a great day.